Hello, everybody. Welcome to the basement, episode 3, coming at you. Just gonna jump straight into it today. Nothing really crazy. Once again, I'm Chris Gray. That's Devin Mitchell, live
Yo,
from. I don't even know today. I literally
really,
don't have one.
it's okay. You're not alone. No, I'm not even sure where I'm at.
All right. Well, he's somewhere. But anyway, so jump into it. A little bit of football been going on. First of all, obviously Christian McCaffrey, new highest paid running back in the league.
Get money.
Uh, 4-year extension, averaging to about 16 mil a year. Um, well deserving. The guy, they've obviously made it clear that he's the future of their offense, not Cam. That's not that wasn't even a question beforehand, but you know what I mean. Just getting paid. That's all I really have to say about that.
I mean, good for the Panthers to realize that potential right now and not even let him get close to free agency. You lock him up now, don't have to worry about it for another, 4 years, you said?
Yeah, 4-year extension.
So, hey, that's one less problem you got to worry about, and now they can try to rebuild that team, starting with Teddy Bridgewater under center and Robbie Anderson on the outside.
Ugh. That hurts me. But
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I could have remembered the other guy. Oh
No, it's all right. It is what it is. But just he's one of the few running backs in the league I would spend that type of money on right now because he's not only a run threat, but he's a big part of their passing offense too. So I feel like that dual threat ability is worth the money.
Yep.
But yeah, good for him. Getting paid, doing basically whatever he wants now. It is the fucking McCaffrey show there.
I mean, they might need to change the name from the Carolina Panthers to Carolina McCaffreys.
Brandon Cooks goes to the Texans. Rams get a 2020 second round pick. The Texans also get a 2022 fourth round pick with Brandon Cooks, and the Rams eat $21.8 million.
Ridiculous.
$21.8 million.
I mean, you gotta love what the Rams were trying to do a couple years ago, but someone in the front office had to be like, guys, we can't spend all this money because we're gonna have to pay these guys. And now they're in the situation where they haven't paid Todd Gurley, had to let him go. He's still waiting on his checks. Clay Matthews, also waiting on his checks. Brandon Cooks, he also might be waiting on his checks, but it's also getting paid now from the Texans.
That's a thing. I can't believe they ate $21.8 million. And the other part I don't get about this from the Texan side is doesn't he make more money than DeAndre Hopkins, which was the whole reason they got rid of DeAndre Hopkins?
Allegedly. I mean, there's also a lot of rumors going around that Bill O'Brien did not like DeAndre, but whatever, that's behind closed doors. Bottom line,
he didn't like his baby mamas coming around or whatever. Yeah, Bill O'Brien sounds like a dick, but he's Belichick's tree, so probably is a dick.
but yeah, and like you said, what are the Texans thinking right now? You're letting hands down top 2 receiver in the league leave, go to Arizona, and you're picking up injury-prone David Johnson, eating most, I think, his salary, and then you're going to pay Brandon Cooks more money for what DeAndre Hopkins was getting,
And they got basically the same thing they got for DeAndre Hopkins they gave to the Rams. So it's not like they gained anything out of the situation. They just got worse at wide receiver, in my opinion.
And nothing against Brandon Cooks, but man, he just has the worst luck. He just cannot stay healthy. Whether it be the concussions or the crazy, I think a ankle injury last season or something like that that's kept him out. Like,
and he can't because of that. He can't get a team to buy into him right now.
right.
Like how many different teams has he played for at this point?
I believe this is his fourth team. You're looking at the Saints, the Pats, the Rams, and the Texans.
Yeah. I don't know. This was the weirdest trade ever to me. None of it made sense. It didn't make sense from the Texans standpoint. It didn't make sense from the Rams standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I do not understand what the point of this trade was.
Just trying to get a wide receiver to fill the void that DeAndre Hopkins is leaving.
Yeah, but you really couldn't have worked it out with. This makes me wonder about DeAndre Hopkins a little bit because they wanted you out of that room that bad. I mean, Bill O'Brien sounds like a dick, like I said, but Belichick made it work with Aaron Hernandez. Tomlin made it work with AB for all those years until he completely went off the rails publicly. Yep. So what does he have hiding in his closet that makes the Texans go, you know what? We're good.
Well, to play devil's advocate, who's saying it's just all DeAndre Hopkins? Like, what are the Texans doing that is forcing DeAndre out of Houston?
No, I can agree. Like, I can agree with that too. But Bill O'Brien has apparently, I think Hopkins is the one that put out that Bill O'Brien has told him that he sees shades of Aaron Hernandez in him.
Yeah.
So like that worries me. Like, I'm sorry.
I think it worries a lot of people, especially Deshaun Watson.
Well, I mean, he's out of there now, so Deshaun doesn't really have to worry about it as much.
Yeah.
Apparently they were pretty tight, though.
I mean, he is your number one receiver. Like,
I mean, he's his number one quarterback too. I mean, that is how that works. The only other real bit of football news is an interesting trade rumor that me, as a Jet fan, does not quite know how to feel about. I've heard the rumor going around that the Jets are looking to trade Jamal Adams to the Cowboys for Amari Cooper and a 2021 second-round pick.
Ooh.
Part of me as a Jet fan is like, no fucking way. Jamal's my guy. Jamal has bought into this team. Jamal loves this team. He's going in for it. He wants to be a Jet for life. I want guys like that on my team. And that's the side of me that's really pulling. And plus, he's one of the best, if not the best, safety in the league right now. Sorry. He's going hard.
That's a cold, hard fact.
Look, wide receiver is the biggest hole in the Jets right now, though. So getting Amari Cooper with Rashard Perriman and with what's the name of that slot receiver?
Quincy Enunwa? No, Jamison.
Jamison Crowder. Sorry. Like that goes from the worst receiving core in the league to up there.
Oh yeah. I was going to say, like, as a Giants fan, I don't want to see this deal happen because I do not want to have to face Jamal Adams 2 times a year because we have no one to throw to. So that's just going to make it even harder.
And he's best friends with Daniel Jones. Did you see him just hand him the ball in the middle of a game? He's just like, yo, here you go.
Listen, I talked to DJ. I told him, dude, listen, I know you're friends and everything, but you can't be handing the ball off to him in the middle of the game like that, man. Come on, man.
Yo, I did not talk to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I know. I lied.
Yeah, I wish I did. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not 100% upset either way it happens. I will be pretty upset if Jamal Adams leaves the team. I love him as a player. I love him as a person, and I like him as a Jet.
Right.
But
I mean,
Amari Cooper, man, could really help out Sam. Who I forget who was saying it. I was watching ESPN the other day, and someone was talking about how Sam is more talented than the last 3 first-round picks.
yeah. It's just that he needs an O-line and someone to catch a ball.
Yeah, someone to actually throw to. And I
Right.
love Robbie Anderson, but he's going to be a lights out number 2.
Yeah. Agreed.
He's going to be the number 2 that everyone wants on their team. But once you put him as a number 1, he doesn't have, in my opinion, the route running ability to really create the separation against every team's number 1.
Right. I feel like he's got great speed and he's great at running streak routes, but like if you need him to be the focal point of your offense, you're stalling because defenses are just going to hone in on that, double team him or put him in zone, and he's not going to be able to do much.
Yeah. So interesting. Not quite sure how I feel about it, but it is what it is at this point. We won't really know until things progress and the trade either comes on or falls off. All right. Next, we wanted to get into last week while we were in the middle of editing this video, the last podcast, where we just broke down UFC 249 and all the fights and which ones we were excited to see and which ones we weren't and such and such. While the video was literally exporting, they canceled the event. Word got out that apparently California's governor called up the head of Disney, whether that's Bob Iger or whoever took over for him, someone from the top, the very, very top, got a call from the governor and said this is just not a good look for California, because even though it's not technically California because it's like a reservation, it's in California's borders, and it's just kind of a workaround, and it's not what they wanted to do. But Dana did come out and say, Fight Island, still gonna thing, and he said specifically, quote, give me a month.
Yeah, you know how I feel about that. You can't trust Whitey. Like, he is going to try so hard to put this together, and it's just going to fall through, and we're all going to be sitting there with egg on, being like, yo, you hyped up this fight for months now. You gotta shit or get off the pot. You gotta make it happen or stop hyping it up. Like, wait till this thing is all done, and then let's go.
The thing that really strikes me about this is I feel like this is the first time I've ever seen Dana bow to someone.
Well, Mickey Mouse is a pretty powerful being. Like, if he says it.
That's the thing. ESPN is their distributor, and I get it, but it's not like ESPN doesn't own any of the UFC. It's not like they called the head of WMEIMG or Endeavor, or whatever it's called now. So yeah, it shocked me a little bit to see him bow like that, but I also think, this is something the world hasn't seen in many a moon. And I mean, ESPN is their distributor. They have a really, really, really strong deal with them right now. They do their pay-per-views. They do their fight nights. They do everything, where Fox didn't even have that. So I guess you do what you have to do.
Right.
I was absolutely devastated when I heard the card was off. As much as I'm happy that we're saving, hopefully, the Tony Khabib fight and not giving it a chance to go wrong just in case Gaethje catches him. Because Gaethje's a tough fight for anyone, man. Those 3 are the definite like trifecta of people who need to be fighting for the belt.
Right.
If Khabib's not fighting Tony, he should be fighting Gaethje. So I understand that, but I need Tony Khabib. They've teased it so many times over so many years, and I just need it to actually happen before I go insane.
I mean, let's be real. We would like that, but now we just gotta, sit back, wait, and wait for the okay, and hopefully we get Khabib and Ferguson back in the same country and back in the same octagon sooner rather than later.
Well, like I said, Dana's talking about this Fight Island thing still, and he said give him a month. And there won't be any governors to call the head of ESPN. There won't be anything like that. And a lot of fighters have actually expressed, I've seen like on Instagram or Facebook or wherever, like a definite interest in fighting on that island. People are like, I want to be a part of this if this is going to be a thing.
Right.
So I think that's great that we should, in the near future at the very least, have some sort of entertainment going on. And their card coming up was like all the cards coming up. It was stacked. They were going into a great little period leading into International Fight Week. And it's gone now. And it really sucks. But hopefully they can use this to bring it back. I feel like that was everything this year. I feel like there was 1.5 million shows I wanted to go to. I feel like there was 1.5 million cards I wanted to see. Anyway, let's get off that. One cool little thing I wanted to talk about was Twitter's CEO. He donated $1 billion to I forget the exact charity, but some sort of coronavirus related fund. And the thing that really struck me about this is this is not like your Jeff Bezos donating $25 million or Mark Zuckerberg donating $25 million, where I think the amount that they donated to Corona was about 0.5% of their net worth. Half of 1%. He donated 28% of his net worth. He said, we need to get this done. I'm giving you everything I can. Like, look, he's not going to put himself out on the street. He's not going to make him stop living this lifestyle right now. But he's like, hey, I have $1 billion that I'm probably in my lifetime never going to spend.
Right.
Just because I have so much other money.
Right. I mean,
why don't I take this money and put it to that good use?
Right. We need more people like that out there because, like you said, he's not going to touch this money. He's probably not going to, even like hold it in his hand or use it on anything. So why not donate it to a good cause? And being that, the state of the world right now, they can use it. The world can use this money, and other CEOs, in my personal opinion, other CEOs should be like, you know what? We see you. We'll match that or like give what they can.
Yeah, I'm not saying every company owner who's seen $1 billion once in his life needs to donate $1 billion, but if you have like these people, these like super wealthy, these billionaire types who have all this money, who they could go out and buy half the planet right now and still never touch half of it. They just have so much. Like, why are you just going to let that sit there and create inflation and do all that stuff when you could be helping good causes just so you can flex to your friends? That's all it feels like to me.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, you hit it the nail on the head. Like, all these other guys out here who have the means, rather just, show it off and be like, hey, look what I got, look at my fancy cars and this room of priceless art that I don't even go into, when you could put that money to good use and help out, your local economy, the world economy, get masks and ventilators and like nursing supplies to hospitals and like just help eradicate this pandemic so that we can just get back to normalcy.
Yeah. But yeah, just want to touch on that real quick. Just think it's great for him. Like, great that he did that. Great that he's not one of these people who's throwing out big numbers to make themselves look good. When
Right.
that's literally like me or you dropping $1.
Right.
So, not that the money isn't obviously appreciated by wherever it's going, but you know what I mean. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right, let's jump back into the real news, sports news. XFL suspends, lays off the entire staff, and then goes bankrupt all within a week.
It's hard being the XFL, man. You go second time round, it's looking great. People are interested in the product. You got people in St. Louis that are going crazy over their Battlehawks. You got PJ Walker lighting it up in Houston. And unfortunately, the pandemic hits, got to stop the league. All right, no problem. And then next thing you know, boom, gone, shut down. People are fired, goes bankrupt. It's just like, come on, man. Like, this was your chance. This was your moment. And unfortunately, it didn't pan out like that.
Yeah. Couldn't have picked a worse time to unveil it. And there's no way you could have known either. That's the sad part. Like, this was through no part of the XFL zone. The XFL knew they were going to be operating at a loss for like the first 3 or 4 years.
Right.
Before they started to make money, and it just got to a point where the loss got so big because of external factors that are absolutely insane.
And what's even crazier is that McMahon could have came out last year with the AAFL, whatever football league that was.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he was like, no, I want the extra year. One, so we make sure we do this right and we don't make the same mistakes we made back in 2001. And two, I don't want to have to compete with another football league. So, like, on paper, everything looks great for them to, like, succeed. And unfortunately, well, this pandemic came up and ruined the plans.
Yeah. And they really did do everything right this time. They got the correct type of TV deals. Because originally they were supposed to just be like an arena event, like a minor league game, no TV, just something players like could play in who like to play. Just you go there, you have to go there and be there to follow it. Maybe you could find the footage of the game online, but it's not gonna. There was no TV deals, and they kind of got forced into the TV deal originally. So they got the right deal. They put the right infrastructure around it. Oliver Luck, I think, was a great decision to lead that league, and they just kind of got screwed over, just by life.
But I was gonna say, like, kudos to the NFL for like allowing some of those players and some of them teams to like reach deals. Like I said, like PJ Walker, I think he got signed by the Panthers. I believe the Seahawks picked up an offensive tackle, first name Storm, last name I don't know, but with a first name like Storm, you don't need a last name,
That's fair. Like, I don't think, and like, if you go, oh, Storm, no one's gonna be like, oh, Storm who?
Right.
Like, you don't know 6 Storms. I'm sorry, you don't.
Right. You're gonna recognize and be like, that's the man. I do not want him pissed off.
Yeah. And what really sucks is the way they went about bankruptcy. They opened up a shell business for the XFL, and then bankrupted that shell business. So everyone's getting screwed out of getting paid, but all the investors and stuff get to keep all their money.
Right.
So that kind of sucks. It's a little, just kind of how the world works, though.
Yeah, don't trust Whitey.
The only other interesting part about this is apparently the XFL. I don't exactly know what you're going to be getting. I'm guessing the trademarks, the team names, stuff like that. But it's going up on auction.
Oh.
And the rumors I've heard is that the NFL might be looking to purchase it because they wanted this league to succeed. They wanted the AAF to succeed because every other sport has some type of minor league. All they have is college, which they basically use as their minor leagues. But once you get out of a certain age range, you can't. You obviously can't continue to play in college, where they could craft some of these guys for a few years and like really work them in baseball and get them the time and the reps and everything. Maybe the guy who maybe there will be a promotion and relegation like in all these other leagues like baseball and hockey, and so
yeah. I mean, that'd be great if that's the case, because how many kids coming out of college, like sixth, seventh round, are just looking for a chance. Like, they know they can play, but you get to NFL, you're 50 out of 53, you're not really getting your reps, and then unfortunately you're getting cut and now you're out of a job. If the NFL does in fact buy the XFL, that's great, because now these kids can go out there and put a highlight reel on and maybe make it so that they can get back into the league.
And also something that's interesting to me is you see all these players who they're just, when they're hyping them, they're just be like, oh, he was a 6th-round draft pick and now he's the number one whatever in the league. And so you think of, oh, cool, like they hit on these guys. They like, you know what I mean? Like the Tom Brady's of the world.
Yeah.
But I want to know how many of those guys get missed. I want to know how many of those guys aren't practice guys. And like where they go to practice and they do it, but they only really perform under the pressure of like an actual physical game, winning and losing.
Right.
Or like, just needed a couple extra years to really hone in their craft. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, how many of those guys, might be really great, studying a playbook, studying offense or defense or whatever it may be, get on the field, you see the potential, they just haven't reached that yet. The XFL could give them that chance to reach their potential, and then you make the jump.
It doesn't even have to be the XFL. I mean, I'm only talking about it because they are up for auction, but just some type of minor league for them. So it wouldn't. I don't think it would be a terrible idea for them to jump in on it. I've heard that there might be some interest from the NFL, but obviously the NFL would never confirm or deny that. Or no. I guess they would deny that, but even if they were going through with it.
Listen, if it's going up for auction, I'm going to put my bid for $10 right now and start the bidding. I'm just throwing it out there, $10 XFL, Devin Mitchell.
Yeah, I definitely don't think you can buy an XFL team or an XFL league for $10, but
Hey, you got to start the bidding somewhere.
I'm going up to 1150, Pat. I don't know who Pat is. All right. It's actually a pretty solid week for news. We actually have a lot of stuff to talk about this week, so gonna keep it moving right along again. Everyone's been talking about it, but Tom Brady went on Howard Stern this week. Gave, in my opinion, probably the most honest and like real raw, like just Tom Brady interview that you're ever going to get at a Tom Brady, at the very least while he's playing. Yep. Maybe like 10 years down the line in a book, you might get a little more insight to it, but I think he was as open and just joking around with Howard as he could have been, just being Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to hit. I felt like everything. Like they talked about Tom's childhood, growing up in California, and the fact that he didn't get into football until like high school. Talking about like 9th grade, 10th grade, and at the time when everyone else was busy playing baseball or soccer or whatever,
which he was too. Which he was too, because apparently, actually, you told me this today. He was drafted by the Expos. I apparently missed that in the interview when I listened to it.
They buried it. No, I'm kidding. No, but yeah, like, dude comes out, could have been a professional baseball player, could have been out there, but he loved football so much more. And
that's how old Tom Brady is, though. He could have been an Expo.
Yeah, could have been playing up in Montreal. It's crazy to think.
And a day.
But yeah, like, he just worked hard. And one thing that I loved is that he was like, in the interview, he was saying that, yeah, when he got to Michigan, the coach got fired shortly after, like, he committed. Gets there, and then the offensive coordinator leaves to go take a job in Stanford. So here's this guy coming into like basically a new regime. No one really wants him. He's buried on the depth chart, and he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna work hard. And as he said, like they gave him 3 snaps in practice, boom, starts killing it. They give him 5 snaps, boom, starts killing it. And he works his way up till he's splitting time with Drew Henson. That's right, name drop, Drew Henson. Who remembers that guy?
I didn't know that guy existed in the first place to remember him. So,
and yeah, I think he played for the Cowboys for like a few years.
Yeah, but yeah, it just shows like hard work, sticking to it, doing all the right things is gonna get you really far.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, especially in a case like that where it's so cutthroat, where they don't have time for favorites. They don't have time for, oh, this is the coach's kid, so he obviously has to play. Like, no, they don't. No one has time for that. This is college football. This is the NFL.
Right. And I mean, I was gonna say before we go on to something else, I know this hurts for you, but like Brady falling to the Patriots kind of worked out, like obviously in his favor, because you got Brady first year rookie quarterback coming in with Bill Belichick also, so they're both looking for something to improve, looking that they both belong in the league. And the rest is history. Sorry, I had to do that.
With his little coffee table napkin. No, but some cool things I got from the interview was obviously him talking about how he knew before last season that this is his last season as a Patriot. I feel like it kind of speaks to the relationship between him and Belichick, even though both of them have had nothing but good things to say about each other. And I don't think they truly hate each other. I just think 20 years of dealing with anyone every day in that type of competitive, cutthroat, again, atmosphere would just take a toll on anyone.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
Other cool things were apparently he's renting Derek Jeter's home.
Yep.
Like, I thought, I didn't know he was renting it. I thought he was just, like, letting him stay there until he found a house down there. But apparently, like, he's renting it, like, long term. Like, they're going to live there throughout his contract. And then when this is all over, like, when he's done playing football or when he's done in Tampa Bay, whichever comes first, he can just go and find his real, like, set down roots place.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that they're cool like that. Another instance of Derek Jeter hanging out with these goddamn Boston people. Like, I'm starting to question his captainship, even though I never do that, Jeter. I love you.
I was going to say, you can't do that.
Yeah, he's Jeter. I'm sorry. And I thought it was really interesting how he said, you know, when I was coming up in high school, I never once thought, oh, this is going to be great for my football legacy. I've never cared about that. And I feel like the real great people don't. The real great people are just obsessed with whatever it is, just want to become great, but don't want to become great so they can play better, but not want to become great so they can tell people, look at all the things I did. Like, that's one of the first red flags for me when I see a fighter coming up. Like, you can talk about, like, your legacy, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I hope to leave a good legacy, blah, 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 blah. Or, like, when you're fighting, like, the first time you fight a former title holder, if you go, you know, this will be great for my legacy.
Right.
Like, that's fine. But the people who are really, like, focused on, oh, I need to do this, this, and this. I need to create my legacy. That's the first red flag for me in fighting. Because you're so worried about the end goal, you're not worried about where you are. And guys like Brady, who aren't worried about their legacy, they're not saying when they're down in the Super Bowl to the Falcons, you know what, we can't make up these points. Or if I made up these points, it'd be great for my legacy. They're like, no, we're losing. We need to start working towards winning, or we're gonna lose.
I mean, you look at some of the greats in all the other sports, you know, like the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Wayne Gretzky, you know, they all went out there super focused, and it was never about, like you said, their legacy. They never worried about, like, oh, hey, I'm going to put, you know, X number of points up, you know, for this game just because I can. It was all about, all right, I'm going to do the best I can, and if I'm not performing at my best level, best believe I'm in the gym, I'm watching film, you know, I'm studying tape, and I'm going to get better so that next time we meet, I'm going to beat you.
Michael Jordan definitely did go, I'm going to score this amount of points just because I can. And he would do it just to spite someone. He would do it just because they were talking shit and they were supposedly like the best defender on the team. So he'd be like, you know what? Dropping 60 tonight.
Yo, okay, so I just remembered this funny story I heard about Michael Jordan. This was came out a couple weeks ago from Kevin Garnett back when he was a rookie. Him and his teammate, you know, they were playing great and they were beating the Bulls. And his teammate had like 24 points going to fourth quarter. And young Kevin Garnett, probably 18 at the time, starts talking trash. It's like, yo, Mike, you ain't doing shit, man. Look at my dude. He's going to beat you. And this dude's like, KG, don't. Stop it. No. And Mike looks at him, looks at KG, looks at his buddy, and goes, okay. And this dude's like, no, Mike, nah, man, don't do it. Mike, he doesn't know any better. He's a rookie. Yo, fourth quarter, Bulls blew out the T-Wolves. MJ, I think he dropped like 30 some odd points, probably like 14 in like 2 minutes or something like that. Just destroyed them.
I'm so excited for that Michael Jordan documentary.
You know, April 19th can't get here soon enough.
I know. I was already super excited for it because it was going to be the day after the fight. And then I had something to watch after the fight. But now all I have is this. This is all I have.
10 parts. 5 nights. Yeah. We got a week worth of Bulls history to watch.
It's a good thing they spread it out over 5 nights, too, because I would definitely fucking just watch that whole shit in one sitting.
I mean, we might have to call that a fork if that was the case.
Nah, I could do it. On my weekend off or something.
Yeah.
So, yeah, obviously Stern, one of the best interviewers in the game. We were actually talking about it today that I don't feel like Stern is as much of that shock rock type of guy, not shock rock, like shock jock type of guy anymore. Just because I feel like the things that made him a shock jock back in the day are kind of a little more mainstream now. Like, it's not like no one's gonna, I mean, someone will, but it's not mainstream to shame people for talking about sex. Like, it's not mainstream for people to shame you about talking about smoking weed or blah blah blah. So, and maybe he's calmed down a little bit more in his old age and is not necessarily trying to say things that are shocking just for fun. And he's just talking like he would. But he really does give a good interview.
He does. He's able to bring out the best of people and get people to open up. Like people that normally you would think are closed off, like Tom Brady, for example, you know, gets him to open up and tell him his like whole life story, even how he met Giselle and his first dates with her and stuff.
He makes people feel comfortable, I feel like is the thing.
Yeah.
All right. So enough on that. Going back to something we talked about in the first episode, Tiger King just came out with a new episode, and to be honest, it was a little underwhelming. Like, I still liked it. I liked kind of how they tied up some loose ends, and kind of you got the reaction about how these people feel about it. But yeah, kind of basic. Like I said in the last video, Joe Exotic is a garbage human, and just hearing every single one of those people talk about it, he's definitely a garbage human. Like, it just solidified it in my mind. And all these free Joe Exotic people, like, blah, 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 like, trying to, like, actually hype this guy up. Like, you are fucking stupid. I'm sorry. He is a garbage human being.
Mm-hmm.
Carol is a garbage human being.
The
other
Doc
Ansel, he's a garbage human being. Jeff Lowe seems like a pretty garbage human being. The only necessarily I could see not being complete fucking garbage human beings is the one who looks like Vince Neil. I just think he might just be an old, used to be an alcoholic.
Meth head.
But he apparently he doesn't have meth. Apparently he doesn't do meth. His teeth aren't as fucked up as 3 Teeth guy. So I kind of believe he just drank a lot and didn't do meth. And then Sev, I think was his name. I also got confirmed that I was right that he is a trans man. I'm sorry for misgendering him when I did. I just didn't know if it was true, and I don't really have a lot of experience with that, but I'm trying. Just throwing that out there right now. But yeah, those two are the only two who I feel like are just decent people who are just kind of doing what they have to do, seem to love the animals, and just wanna, and just kind of got caught in with bad people, I guess.
Oh yeah, I mean, like you said, like Joe Exotica, Carol Baskins, and Doc Ant, all shady, horrible, horrible people. Like we discussed in the last podcast, like the shit they were doing, they claimed that, oh no, this is not like wrong. There's nothing wrong about this. It's nothing legal. Like everything they did was like shady, underhand. I will change this so that I can say it's a front. And it's good for this. And they preyed on vulnerable people who were down on their luck and just needed a job or whatever it may be.
I'm just garbage human beings.
True, but like you said, like Stan and
Sev, I think was his name.
Forgive me, I'm blanking on the name right now. And Vince Neil looking dude, like they genuinely looked like they actually cared about the animals and were just like, hey, like these are beautiful creatures and You know, like we need to take care of them, and you know, so forth and so forth.
Right. Yeah, little underwhelmed by that, but what are you gonna do? I don't think there's any way to really top that without them like really diving into the Carol Baskins thing or Joe Exotic getting out of jail. I think that's half the reason people are cheering for him too. But if you do, stop because he's a fucking garbage human and deserves to be in there.
Yep.
And yeah, that's how I feel about that. Next, so basically, just a award for the stupidest motherfucker in the entire fucking world. NASCAR driver Kevin Larson is fired from his Kyle. Oh yeah, sorry, Kyle Larson. Get that right because he's a piece of shit. Was fired from his race team for saying the N-word with a very hard R.
Once again,
very hard R live in the middle of his iRacing event. And you hear the other drivers around him just going, "Oh fuck, bro, what are you doing?" And I'm not saying it's better, but it's not like he's, you know, saying it in a way where how do I put this? He's not using it in a way to try to sound cool. He's not using it in a way to, you know, like just like mimic the people he sees on TV who are actually allowed to say it. He said it super hard R, super like it was in his vernacular, and I don't think he was saying it at any specific person, but he said it in a very derogatory way. Not saying the other way is better, but just doing it like this makes it worse.
Right.
If you understand what I'm saying.
No, I got you. And like what I found out is that I mean his sponsors took a page out of Snoop Dogg's playbook and they dropped him like it was hot. As soon as that came out, McDonald's, bye. Capital One, bye. Pfizer, bye. Chevrolet, see ya. Don't even bother coming to us and stuff. You know, they were like, yo, we do not want to be associated with you at all. What you did was so uncool. Like, we can't even tolerate that.
And he just threw it in like it was nothing.
Yeah. And according to the people at ESPN, apparently he was set to be a free agent at the end of this season. That one word cost him 8 figures.
Yeah, he was supposed to be the number one free agent in all of NASCAR, apparently. Again, I'm not a huge NASCAR fan. I don't really know what's going on there, but apparently, like, I've heard his name before. And I don't know anything about NASCAR. Just stupid. Just, you know you have that headset on. You have to, how would you not know that people can hear you? You know what I mean? Like, I get it. I'm sure this is something he said every race in his race car just to his crew team.
Oh, yeah.
And if you had hot mics from any of them, it'd probably be a death sentence for this guy.
Yeah. What's even crazier is that apparently he came up through the drivers of diversity ranks of NASCAR, and he's half Japanese himself. And his grandparents, I believe, were actually in internment camps in WW2. So, like, you should know better, you know, like, because I'm sure, unfortunately, you know, his grandparents were probably, you know, called other racial slurs and stuff. And it's just like, come on, man, like, your family went through that. Why are you doing that? Get your head right. Be better.
Just one of the dumbest blunders I've ever seen. Like, it's just pure stupidity. It's not like, again, I don't think there was any malice behind it. I don't think he was trying to do, like, he was saying it to, like, try to put people down at that time. I think it's just something he says normally.
Yep.
Which, again, makes it worse.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to be shocking. He was just trying to joke around with his pit crew.
Right.
Like, now that whole pit crew looks just as bad, in my opinion.
I mean, everyone in like his little circle that like hears him say this and lets him get away with it, they're all looking bad at this.
I don't think it's even just that they'll let him get away with it. I think they probably are right there in it with him.
Probably are. Because all you need is that one person to be like, dude, what the flying fuck? That's not cool, man. Check yourself.
Yeah, like, chill out, bro.
Right.
And if he listens or not, that's his problem, but you at least know what type of fucking person you're dealing with.
Right.
I don't know, I just thought it was absolutely stupid. I thought it was just stupid beyond belief.
Yeah, that makes. Yeah.
Not that that's exactly a hot take. Guy who says N-word in the middle of a live stream is stupid.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. That's fucking NASCAR talk. That's probably all the NASCAR talk you'll ever get in the entirety of this show, unless something stupid like this happens again.
Yep.
You got any news, Dev? How's life going for you? You got the Rona?
No, I'm good. I'm corona free. Got no line either. But I was going to say, Drew Brees might be a pretty smart cookie, setting himself up for life after football, signing a deal with NBC Sports to become their broadcaster after he's done playing with the Saints.
I thought he turned down a. That's not the Monday Night Football deal, is it? I forget who has Monday Night Football.
ESPN. He turned down ESPN to go potentially do this Sunday Night Football with Tirico and I think Al Michaels. So he would replace Chris Collinsworth.
Okay.
So no more. Now here's a guy who reminds me, or now here's a guy. Sorry, he's gone. He's potentially gone. And you're going to get Mr. New Orleans, Louisiana Drew Brees coming in and hopefully dazzling us.
I could see him being good. And I feel like I learned from Tony Romo that I like the quarterback mind in the whole thing, just how they break it down.
Yeah.
Especially these newer age quarterbacks, because Boomer Esiason and people like that do it a little, but the game just wasn't as complex then.
Right.
So,
I mean,
these new guys know exactly what they're looking at in every situation because they've had to study it for the last 10, 12 years of their lives.
Right.
If not before that.
Oh, to be real, they've been studying it since they were like going to school. And I'm talking about like elementary school.
And then Drew Brees is just a very well-spoken guy. He just comes off very well. Like, there are people who can speak well and like have a good vocabulary and know what they're talking about, but just don't come off well.
Mm-hmm.
Just for whatever reason, their personality doesn't connect.
Right.
Like other people's will. And I feel like Drew Brees would connect.
Oh, yeah.
Like, perfect example. I feel like Tom Brady shouldn't get into commentating, in my opinion, afterwards. A lot of people will disagree with me, but I just don't think Tom's personality connects like that. I don't think people think he's a bad guy or anything like that, but just in a commentating in that type of space, I don't think he comes off correct. Not that he,
Yeah.
Again, I'll never say he comes off bad because he seems like a perfectly nice guy, but just not correct for that environment, I guess.
I feel what helps is that Drew Brees has kind of been like an open person. Like, he's private in a sense, but he's also like willing to give you an interview. And I feel like he just keeps it real, and it makes everyone feel comfortable. And you're like, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you mean there,
Yeah, he's definitely more accessible than Brady. And maybe that's what this Stern interview is kicking off for Brady. You never know.
True.
Because
Brady.
now that he's not under Belichick's thumb, it could be a completely different ball game.
Right. Now he's with Bruce Arians, no risk it, no biscuit. So maybe he takes it to heart.
No risk it, no biscuit. I still love that phrase.
Oh, it's my favorite phrase.
But
yeah, Monday Night Football is still open. Just saying. Hashtag McAfee.
Nah, fuck that. Hashtag me.
Yo,
I'll take that job right now.
You get that, I'm going to need some tickets.
I don't think we have to think that far ahead because we definitely won't get that far. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I got for this week. Fun little episode. I'm glad that news is starting to pick up a little bit because the last 2 weeks have been a little light. I think as we start to round the curve and people start getting an idea of when and where and how things can start to continue, news will keep opening up and we won't just have to completely survive on football free agency. But
yeah, we got the draft coming up, and that's going to be a fun topic because they're doing it all from home. So who knows?
I'm very interested to see how that works out.
I'm waiting to see which coach or GM's kid walks into the background and it's like, Daddy, never mind, and just slowly sneaks back out.
That's definitely going to happen. That just sounds so crazy to me because I literally have trouble just getting us to record this.
Yep.
Through the internet. And these people are having entire war rooms over the internet and then feeding that into the NFL's feed. Mm-hmm. So it can be broadcast on national TV. This is going to be interesting.
Oh, yeah. They might crash the system.
But we won't know until it happens. We can only speculate. And I feel like everyone's speculated on that. And they all pretty much have the same point. So I think that's it for us. Once again, our catchphrase is not having a fucking catchphrase.
But yeah. Look, we'll get to it next week or something. I don't know.
Hey, the production's better. We got Devin a fucking microphone. I can hear myself. I can hear him better. We're working on it. We're getting better. I told y'all there would be improvements, and here we are delivering week 3.
Boom. Don't even need a bye week yet.
Exactly. All right, so everyone here from the basement, and by everyone I mean me, and Dev from, wherever the fuck he is today, and I got nothing. Thank you for coming and watching the show. Hit that like, share, and subscribe, all that bullshit, wherever you are. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, blah, blah, blah.
Don't forget, people, stay 6 feet away from each other. And for anyone listening in Florida, that's 1 alligator.
Actually, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to end on today, is just real quick. Again, we try to keep away from the real coronavirus stuff, the COVID-19 stuff, because like everyone's saturating you with that. We have to talk about how it affects sports and stuff like that. But I did want to say that while yes, everything looks good, like the number of hospitalizations are going down, and these are the things we need to see to get back to normal. This is not the time to jump ship and say, oh, everything's getting better. Let's go out and see our friends. Let's do this. Let's do that. Because I've just been hearing a lot of that. And this is the time where we need to hunker down more than ever. Because while the numbers are looking better, and that might look like the end to this, the numbers are still high enough that the second we all start interacting again, we're going to go straight back in, and then we're going to be in 6 months, a year and a half of doing this quarantine bullshit because people just aren't keeping it together. So I just wanted to say that. That's how I feel.
Be smart, people.
Yeah, just be smart about it. Let's let's get this fucking over with because I'm getting very sick of it, and I'd rather give up my next 2 months than get those 2 months and then give up the next year. So, again, ending on a sad note because that's what we do. We are the Basement Boys. See ya.
Deuces.